Okay, letter writers, so you've been responding to text and you're now almost to that level 4 badge. Here's where we've got to make sure that we're writing another full complete paragraph after our introduction. This is in the body of our letter. Many of you are working towards that now, but we want to make sure that we plan it to be a full, well-developed paragraph beyond the introduction. So here's what it would look like. If you have your introduction planned with all of the parts that we've discussed, you now want to make sure that what comes next is just as organized as what you started with. So I'm going to show you how I do this. I have a guide, if you'd like to use it, for the body paragraphs. And what you're going to do here is then go into saying, okay, what is it I'm claiming about the text? Or what's my prompt, my response choice? Explain why you're claiming it. Use some TBE and then clearly explain that TBE and how it proves what you claim. Then you wrap it up. So this is a nice structure that you can use. I read this poem. Falling in love is like owning a dog. It's a short read, but boy, is it full of thinking. And it definitely would work well with this response choice. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So I want to show you what I've written for my response. Falling in love is like owning a dog. The first thing I do want to point out is if you notice what I did for the title. In the title of the poem, I actually enclosed it in parentheses. When you're referring to a poem or an article title, those get parentheses instead of underlining, and so we'll keep practicing that. I also have who wrote the poem. You might find a poem where the author is unknown or anonymous, but be sure to state that. And so I've got the rest of my introduction paragraph. But take a look at my next paragraph. This is where we're really starting to build the body part of our response. My first sentence here is clearly my main idea. I'm stating that the writer compares love to a dog as if love were a living thing. Now, here are my supporting details. Here's my first one, where I tell why I'm claiming this. Then I go on to use some TBE. That's my example. Then I clearly explain my example. Do you notice how I use the wording, this means that? And finally, I wrap it up with a little bit of a personal connection that fits with the poem. Be sure that when you are writing about poems, you do clearly identify your stanzas and your lines. Notice how I stated second stanza in the first line. That tells the reader exactly where in the poem you're referring to. Now our goal is to build the body so that it's much longer, but this is a good start.